all my knitty friends. Welcome to Hudson Valley Knits. I am Amy, and today is Sunday, May 18th. I am back upstairs in my room again with the poor, not so good lighting. I have the bedroom lights off, and this is all light from the window, so I think this is the best. It's a little shadowy, but really, it's better than the lights coming down. It was just, didn't show the true colors of all the yarn and stuff. So this will be where we'll be meeting for the foreseeable future because, as I think I mentioned last week, I am doing a kitchen renovation. And my kitchen is almost completely demoed now, and a lot of my kitchen stuff is in the living room, and I've really have no place at all to set up. So unless I can podcast outside, I'll be in my room. It's the only sane space in the house right now. So I hope you don't mind too much. I have so much. This is going to be longer than last week because I went to Webb's. So I have a lot to talk about this week. All right, so let's get started. I want to welcome everybody, and I don't usually say this, but I really do appreciate everybody that comes back to listen to me and all the nice notes you send me. And I want to thank anybody that's watching me for the first time. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. And so I'm going to start off about the senior love along. I still have not knit my 3 backup washcloths. I'm ashamed to say. And I really, I still have to do one because I was, and I blame it on this shawl. This, I spent most of my time working on. I have 2 so far. I had put it on myself to knit at least 1 a month, so I am going to definitely catch up on those. They're so quick and easy. It's just I just haven't gotten around to it and picked like a nice little stitch pattern. But I did have a couple of donations from a woman in my knit group, my local knit group, and she knit a couple of washcloths that I figured I'd show you here. Here's one. It's just a beautiful cream color, and I love the stitch pattern she did. Isn't that pretty? It's really simple. It's knit on the other side, but I like the purl side better. But both sides are beautiful, and they're a nice size too. You know what I mean? They're a little bigger than a square. And then here's another one that's green. This is from Jules, my friend from my my knitting circle that I go to every week. So thank you, Jules. She gave them to me at our last meetup, and I'm gonna hang on to them for her. I am going to start thinking about what the prizes are going to be, and I have an idea of what I might use for my stash as a prize, or at least one of them. But I would welcome, if anybody has anything at all they would like to donate as a prize for this senior love along, please contact me. I would appreciate any donations of prizes for the senior love along. Appreciate it, but not, not required. All right, so let me show you what I've been working on. I finished this big shawl project like I told you last week, so I kind of gotten something new on the needles, and I've been working on some old work in progresses. So let me start with showing you the Toti Hati, and I don't know if I'm saying this right. It's a Kate Davies pattern. And I ordered the kit from her, and you get like a nice printed out pattern, very nice quality, but I photocopied it, and because I like to, stuff it in the bag. And when I have it's a color work chart, so I keep track by putting a little sticky note, and I put it on the chart to keep track of where I am, and then I just fold it up, and it usually stays in place. You could put it in like a paper slippy thing, but here it is. It's almost done. I'm ready to switch to the cream color to do the neck and then the pom-poms and the strings, and then I'll be done. But I put it in, this is the hot water bottle, the pattern the kit comes with, not the pattern, the kit. And so I put it in here so you could just see how nice it looks. Let me get a little closer. Isn't that beautiful? I love the colors. The madder is a little more orange than it's showing up on my screen right now. But I really love this. This is going to be for my mother-in-law. I'll have this done very soon. I had to switch to a smaller size needle, and I was actually working on this at knit night, and I didn't realize I had to switch to a smaller size needle, and I didn't have them with me, so I kind of put it aside. I gotta get the needles out of my needle inventory, and I'll get this done in probably no time. So next time you should see this as a finished object, which would be nice. And then I'll gift it to my mother-in-law. Next, what was that? Oh, let me show you the Carson blanket next. There's not much to see. You've seen this before if you've been watching the podcast for a while. But I've been knitting a little on this because I don't have a pair of vanilla socks on the needles, which I use for my mindless knitting moments. Like if I am working from home and I'm on a meeting call, I might knit, or if I'm in the movies, or if I'm a passenger in a car. But it has to be kind of vanilla knitting, so I've been using this. And this is going to be a blanket, the Carson Throw. And it's looking kind of boring now. I basically, since the last time I showed it to you, gotten about only this, probably from there up. But I knit this while we were watching Godzilla. We went to see Godzilla, which was awesome. Although a lot of noisy kids. Just keep that in mind. They're going to get excited about Godzilla, so don't expect a quiet movie experience. But we still had a great blast, and we just kind of went along with it since there's nothing we could do about all the noise. Yeah, so I've been knitting on this Carson Throw, and I'm excited too because I'm not far away from the next increase, and then I will switch to another color, like a light gray. So, and you know what I'll do right now? Let me just get one of these. I'm going to mark where I am on this so we can keep track of my progress. So this is where I am today, right? So you see that little thingy, and I'll leave that in there, and then next time I show it to you, you can see how far, if you know, I've come, if I get anything done at all. So that's the Carson Throw, a whip from way back. And one other whip, which is new. Did I put that away? I think I did. I cast on last weekend. I've been talking about doing the Hiroshima Peace Sock from Stories and Stitches 3. It's designed by Donna Drakunis, and I really like the socks. When I took the writing workshop at Donna's house back in March, she showed us all the samples from Stories and Stitches, and I just loved these socks. Donna knit hers in Pathways Sock Yarn by Lost City Knits, but I as much as I love Lost City Yarns, I stashed those because I have some beautiful plucky knitted yarn. And the thing was, I had never done double knitting before. I've never double knit before. So I went on to Craftsy because I did sign up for Lucy Neepy's Craftsy class on double knitting. And last weekend, while I was upstate at my parents' house, I got online and I watched her class for a while, and I practiced on some leftover yarns I had in my little leftover yarn bag. And I mean, the Craftsy class with Lucy Neepy is great, and I know there's another double knitting class they have by Alistair Quinn, which is, I'm sure, is very good as well. And I think by the end of the day Sunday, I felt comfortable casting on the Hiroshima Peace Sock. So let me show you. I recommend, here it is, again, the colors are a little actually brighter than in real life. The red, this is a little more corally orangey red, and this looks purple almost, but it's really like a very charcoal gray. Let me see if this helps. No, that don't help at all. All right, so they're gorgeous colors, and I really enjoyed it. It takes a little practice. I recommend if you, like me, are, see, that's a good color representation. Let me show you the other side because I started writing the word peace. The kanji for peace is a color work chart. So not only is there double knitting, there's also some kind of color work involved to knit the kanji word for peace in the cuff. And what's going to happen is, so this is the cuff, and it's going to go down like this, right? This cuff down. I should show it to you like that. So it's a cuff down sock, but what's going to happen is after I knit the word peace in the top part of the sock, there's a row where she has like a single knit row, and I haven't gotten there yet, so I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be done, but then it's going to be folded over. So the top of the sock is going to have this orangey red as the background, and the word peace is going to be written with this charcoal gray. And then underneath, as the rest of the sock comes down from this folded over part, the body will be mostly this charcoal gray. And I'll use these more as slippers because they're very thick and squishy to be in shoes. I love Plucky Knitter yarn, and here it is. But I wanted to show you guys, and this is not to say anything bad about Plucky yarns, because for one thing, I've knit with this sock yarn before, and it was wonderful. And this skein of the sock yarn, the red, is Plucky Feet as well, and I have no problems with this. But this one particular skein, it seems to be overplied. See how all over it's like all twisted up on itself, and it's a real pain every time I take it and I try and wrap it around my finger and stuff, and it curls up, and then it's really driving me nuts. Someone on Instagram said that can happen depending on the way you put it on the wool winder. I've never heard of that, but I'm not sure, so I guess it's a possibility. But it's really driving me crazy, and I don't know what to do about it. But if I could knit the whole sock like this, I'm gonna go nuts. And the other thing that I should have done that I didn't think of is I have those pop bags, the pop bags with a little hole in it that you can feed the yarn through. And I wish I had one that's made for 2 skeins that has 2 holes in it so that they don't get tangled, and I wish I had put my socks in that. This is my Queen Anne's Lace bag by Jan Smiley. Jan Bode Smiley, made by hand by Jan Bode Smiley. I love this bag. This is a good kind of small to medium sized bag for me. Good for a shawlette. It's big enough for this sock with 2 skeins, so you can see I can fold it down. So it's a nice size. It's not really a sweater size, but I loved this print. And Jan, as far as I know, anyway, Jan, I'm friends with her on Instagram, and I just saw one day she posted this picture saying she was selling bags, and I love Queen Anne's lace. It grows all over the place where I live, and I remember it as a child, and loved it. So those are my 3 works in progresses for now. I do have some spinning to show you. I spun up, I don't know if you remember a while back, I spun up on my spindle some Into the World fiber. It was 50% silk and 50% merino, And I learned a lesson about spinning silk on a spindle. It was not a very pleasant experience. I finished it, and then I knit up some fingerless mitts with them that actually would go good with this nail polish. But anyway, I spun the rest of it on my Hanson mini spinner, and here it is. Now this was much more enjoyable, and the fiber came out much nicer. So it's this dark blue, but if you flip it over, see the gorgeous coppery brown? This is not doing it justice. It is a beautiful colorway. I love the color. I love this. I love this fiber. I love this yarn. I will say that my mitts, I wore them during the winter a bit, and especially like when I was driving, because the steering wheel would get cold. This doesn't stay plump. It got kind of flat and stuff because of the silk. Silk is not as puffy as wool would be, and so I'm just thinking about what I might make with this. It's only about 140 yards, and I would say it's a DK weight, and a very inconsistent one at that. Maybe a worsted. I was thinking maybe like a little headband for around the head that I could just keep my ears warm in the winter. Or it's not enough for a hat, I don't think. No, it definitely isn't, because I like hats a little loose. I don't want to do another pair of mitts. Not enough for a cowl. I have to think about it. But I definitely wanted some kind of accessory that I can wear with my mitts. Even if maybe I might have to combine it with another yarn and make something out of two yarns. I don't know. We'll see. But here is the Into the World Sansa colorway. I had a little over 4 ounces when I started. And I got this at Rhinebeck, this past Rhinebeck. So that's that. And I'm going to actually stick it right in this bag so I know what it is. Next, as a finished object to show you, I have these opal socks. I think I was almost done last week when I showed you that. So here they are. This colorway is called, it's the Little Prince colorway, and it's, I can't pronounce it in German, but I believe in English the word is translated to explorer. And I used the Fish Lips Kiss heel. The wool, it just says 100% wool, and I would tell you that the wool itself is very much like patent croy. I soak these, and it's not rough, but it's definitely not the softest yarn I've ever worked with, but I imagine it would be a good sturdy sock yarn, and that's what I want, a good sturdy sock yarn. Now, about the Fish Lips Kiss heel, it's so much easier and simpler to make a Fish Lips Kiss heel than the heel flap and picking up gussets and that sort of thing. And I don't mind the way it looks, but I found that I kind of have to make my foot longer. I don't know how to describe it, but the fit is a little wonky, and I don't know if it's because, but I have to, disclaimer is that I don't use her method for measuring the foot and making sure you have the right fit. So I think when I start another pair of vanilla socks, I'm going to use her recipe and this pattern, it's really a technique or an instructional thing. It's only $1. So really, really just go ahead and buy it and read through it. She gives good instructions on how to measure your foot, and she has you make a form out of a piece of cardboard. So I think I'm going to try that and see how the next sock comes out, and if I follow her directions, if the fit is a lot better. And we'll see. because these were just a little too short for my foot. And what I'm going to do is I think I might give them to my daughter for Christmas. She loves wearing hand knit socks. And we wear the same size shoe, but her feet are a little shorter than mine and a little narrower. I have wide feet and she has, I would say, normal feet. So now the opal sock yarn, I love it. Ooh, what's this? Oh, I know what that is. A little piece of an end sticking out. I just have to snip it off. It's probably from me weaving it in. I don't have another pair of vanilla socks on the needles right now. I thought that my pea socks would be my vanilla knitting, but no, it's not something I can carry in my purse and just whip out and knit. So I'm going to cast on another pair of vanilla socks soon to keep in my purse for the mindless knitting. So that's, I finished out. Now I'm wearing this, and I know I showed it last week, but it's all blocked out now. So I think it's worth showing it again. I just, plus I was wearing it, but let me stand up with it and see if you can see it. So, I know the light isn't off, but it's so beautiful. So I'm going to do it like this because the light from that window is coming good. This is just such a beautiful shawl. The yarns make it, this color gradient, this little. These were dyed up specifically for this knit along, and I have the little things here. You can knit this pattern if you want to make this pattern. You have to buy the Stories and Stitches 2 book. They don't sell the patterns individually. And I have a review. I did a review about Stories and Stitches 2, and I think it's worth purchasing the book. And you could do a PDF version, which is a little less expensive, but it's an awesome read, and it's worth buying the book. But I also recommend you get the String Theory Keeper Sock yarn. That's what I use. She has kits made up already, and Donna's starting another knit along. It's super wash, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. It's super soft. It's very pilly. It is pilly because of the cashmere. There's the. So she dyed up, colorways just for this, and the colorways I used are the turquoises, and I'm trying to find the first one. Light teal is the first color. All right. Light teal. And then you go and you cast and you switch to Taviki. I can't see that. Taviki. All right, so that's the second color she dyed up for this. And that is so that is right under the light teal, which is on the center, and then there's the Taviki. And then you go to this one. Let me see if I can get a good, let's see if I hold this up a different. The next one I'm trying to show you is called, oops, this one. Sorry, hold on. Labradorite. I can't pronounce it. Labradorite. Can you see that? Anyway, Labradorite is just a little more. It's a lot like the color before it, but it's just a little more black in it. So there's one, and then there's the other. So I think you can see how it's a little just darker. And it just blends beautifully. And then the border is jet black. And it's a lot of stitches once you get to the border. I did the extra small, and it took me a long time to do the border, I'll tell you the truth. But this was so wonderful to knit, and I blocked it last weekend at my mom's, and we laid it out on her bedroom floor because I don't have a floor space big enough, and plus I have hardwood floors. And so we put it out on her floor on top of a sheet, and she helped me pin it out, pulling, stretching it out a little so that it was a nice circle. And excuse me, yeah, I took it off the blocking, and it was just gorgeous. So Aunt Janet's coming. This is for my Aunt Janet. I've been knitting this since New Year's Day for her as a gift. I wanted to make something really special and nice for my aunt. And I was hoping to have it done by Easter when we went there for like a visit. But I was just starting the border when we went down there. But they're coming up this week. And Janet's on the board of a college in Pennsylvania. And she has to go to a board meeting. And then they're coming here just for a couple of nights since we're so close to have dinner with us. And then they're going to drive home. So I will give this to her when I see her next week. And I'll take some pictures of her. I know she's going to love it. And that's it with finished objects. I know, oh my goodness, half hour already. So I have so much to show you for stash enhancements. I went to Webb's tent sale yesterday with my friend Sandy, whom I've podcasted with once before. I think it's the episode called Huffing Wool. If you haven't checked it out, it's a long one, but Sandy and I had a lot of fun recording it together. We had talked about possibly recording together today, but she ended up going down to Brooklyn. That's where both her kids live in Brooklyn, so she's not around today, and I didn't want to hold off on recording. But she got a lot of good stuff too. We had so much fun driving up there together. So let me just dive right in. So the first thing I got was that right there, my Lendrum spinning wheel. I got the full kit on sale, 20% off, because it was the tent sale. And I took a spinning class last year at Rhinebeck, and they used the Lendrum wheels. And at that point, I had just had a Hanson mini spinner, and I had just gotten it actually, but so I'd done some spinning on the Hanson, and I went to Rhinebeck and I took this class on the Lendrum, and I'm like, oh, it's such a different experience treadling, and I really loved it. And I'm like, one day I want to get a wheel, a regular wheel, and I did enjoy that wheel, but I figured I'll try out others, and I have. So back in March when I went to the writing workshop in Vermont, Webb's was right on the way, so I stopped on the way home, and I tried all the wheels that Webb's had on site, and by far, hands down, I loved the Lendrum the most. It was just a sweet, beautiful, flowing experience. Plus, I'll tell you, assembling it is super easy. There's practically no assembly. You just unfold it and put your mother of all on top with the whirly thing on it, flyer, and you're good. You're golden. That's it. And of course, you got to put the band around it and the brake. But it's so easy and it's wonderful. And you get all the accessories with the complete package. And I got a pound of BFL from Webb's for free, and which I played around a little last night. Even my husband played with it. He spun a little bit, but he got a little. It didn't get frustrated. He was just like, "No, I'll just let you do it." But he did pretty good. He was interested. He'll try anything. But so I am beyond thrilled. I feel complete now. For now, I'm keeping the Hansen, but I think this is going to be my first choice for spinning on. So that's my first acquisition, and I basically decided I wanted that, and I didn't purchase it because I knew I'd want to go back and get it during the sale. So I've been waiting for this, and that's why I deliberately drove up for the tent sale. And I probably wouldn't have unless it were for this. So at the Webb's event, and I'll kind of combine Nitty Talk with the stash enhancement since they go together. Um, we got there like by 9:30, and we pulled in. We got a spot right in the parking lot because we were a little early, and people were, even though they weren't open yet. Actually, we got there closer to 9. But anyway, people were already in the tent area filling up carts, and there were people there that had shopping carts full of yarn because they were outside under the tent. They had sweater quantities of some really beautiful yarns out there, and people were loading up. I'm telling you, like lots and lots of yarn. And then inside, in the back of the warehouse, they had a lot of those yarns for sale that were already opened and not in a bag. And they had clearly marked with big yellow pieces of paper their items that were on sale for their 40th anniversary. So I really didn't see anything I liked outside, so we just browsed through. But while we were waiting for them to open the door, because I wanted to get my wheel, or have it at least set aside right away so that I knew I secured one. So anyway, we started looking at the other vendors. So they have other vendors come in, and it was almost like a little itty bitty fiber festival kind of thing without classes. It was just really local. People came in to sell their beautiful items, and Stitch by Jessa Lou was there too. I didn't buy any of her bags because I have way too many bags, but she was there selling her bags. But one vendor I did love. I did buy a few things. And the first thing I'll show you is this spindle. I got it at the tent for Foxfire Yarns and Design. She was selling them, but she didn't make them. I bought this spindle. I tried it out while I was there. This spindle is made by Green Sleeve Spindles. The link is in the show notes already. Okay. And it is, she named it Damsel Monique. It is spalted Jama rind, which is apparently rare. And then the shaft is walnut. I don't know how much it weighs. So I can figure that out real quick. For you, it does not have a weight on it. This is what ounces, right? Let's see if I can. It's about 1 ounce. And I really love it. It's beautiful. It spins forever. And it's got a little notch. And it just feels beautiful. I really love it. It's a gorgeous wood too. So that's the first thing I bought. But I bought a bunch of stuff from this tent. So this is let me put this together with this. This tent was the woman that wrote the book. Her name is Barbara Parry, and she wrote this book, Adventures in Yarn Farming. And she has a blog. It's called Sheep Gal. I follow it. I've been following it for a while. And I had her sign this book. It's kind of a funny story. I have two sisters. One lives in upstate New York already. Her and her husband live right near my parents. And then my other sister and her husband, they live near me down here in Westchester County, but They also own like property up there near my other sisters and my parents, and they have I think they have like 60 acres. And anyway, they plan to retire there. I think my brother-in-law's, he's a little ways away. But anyway, she has horses, but they were talking, about having other animals, and I was like, oh, get sheep, get sheep. So I had Barbara sign the book to my sister Kim, and I'm hoping that this might help my sister decide to have a few sheep on her property. Even just a couple, but I don't know. We'll see, but either way, it's kind of like a joke between her and I. She's like, I'm not getting sheep, leave me alone. But I was looking through this book last night, and it looks really interesting. I read a lot about her story and about her experiences, and I really enjoyed it, and I might have to get myself a copy. But even if, like, my sister never does get sheep, this has a couple of patterns. It has some recipes. It has a sewing, some instructions for sewing things. It shows how the yarn is made. It's a really great book. I like it a lot, and I might read it before I give it to my sister and maybe get the Kindle copy as well for myself, which I wouldn't recommend unless you've seen the pictures, because the pictures in this book are beautiful. She talks about how her and her husband found the farm and how they both retired and they knew this is what they wanted to do. And she had a couple of sheep at that point, and she expanded. And she takes you through all the seasons of yarn farming and what it's like, and it's just it's a great book. So she has a CSA, which I immediately checked out. And yeah, like I said, I think I'm going to read this more completely. I read a lot last night. I was actually up till 11:30 looking at this in bed. But I hate holding big, heavy books like this, so I might purchase the Kindle version only because I have this and will be giving it to my sister. So her name is Barbara Perry, and I check out her blog. It's Sheep Gal. Or you can go to their website where they sell their yarn and CSAs, which I might look into. That might be fun, because I love her dyed colors, which I'm going to show you next, because I bought some yarn from her too. So I bought these 3 colors. These are her hand-dyed yarns. I'm not sure, and I didn't ask if the wool came from her sheep, which I don't think it would have, because I know she does a CSA, and so probably all of her wool goes to her shareholders. But this is a Cormo Camel Silk Blend, 90 Cormo, 5% camel, 5% silk. It's about 180 yards each of fingering weight. And I have a design in mind for these. And that's all I'll say about it. But these are really nice and squishy. They're spun really nice. The dyed colors are beautiful. So I don't know, you can see kind of the subtleness in the blues here. This one is called Jade Cloud. This is Marigold, and it is gorgeous. It's a bright orangey yellow. It's beautiful. Love it. I love marigolds too. And this one is called Poppy, and it looks pretty true to color here. Orangey red. I can't wait to play with these. So after I get my current pattern that I'm working on out, the Guardian of Air shawl, I'm going to work on something for these yarns because, and like I said, I have something in mind as soon as I saw them. Beautiful. Love them. So I got that. I got her book. And I also, she brought a couple of bats with her. And I've never spun from bats before, but there were some beautiful blues. And I'll show you like one of the blues. This is actually bluer than you're seeing. Although it does have some lavender tones to it. It's like a gray blue. And here is one of the lavender bats. So you can see the difference, right? But I am going to try spinning these up on my new wheel. I got a total of 5 ounces, and 1 ounce I'll use to play with to see how I want to spin it up, and then the rest I will use for the shawl. And I'll make a shawl out of it. I'm excited, but I just hope that I can spin it up nice. I'm still working on my spinning skills, and I'm not very consistent. And she told me that was Shetland wool, and it was she said it's quite soft for Shetland wool too, by the way. I've knit with Shetland wool before, and this is very soft for Shetland. All right, so what else did I get next? All right, so next vendor I went to in the tent area was called Rag Hill Farm, Fiber Art with a Function. And they have a website, raghillfarm.com. She and her husband, I assume it was her husband, were just wonderful. They were so sweet. First I bought this little bag of funky colored fibers because I was thinking it'd be fun to try felting and that this would be great to start with. So I got this. I haven't opened it yet. I don't want to open it. I'm going to leave it shut. But this was only $4, so I grabbed this. And then we were looking. She had some like quilted pot holders, and she had some cotton project bags that were really very nice. And they were a nice size. I've been looking for a big project bag, as I said. And I've been kind of waiting for the Fat Squirrel to put up a fabric for one of her huge Aran weight sweater bags. And I was planning on, when the right fabric came up, to try and scap up one of those for bigger projects. Like my Carson Throw soon will be very big and way too big for a little project bag, even a sweater size bag probably. So this woman had the greatest bags. She took old wool coats, and I'm going to show you in just 1 second. She took old wool coats, cut them up, and used them to make bags with. And I'm going to show you the one I picked. It's a beautiful green houndstooth print. So there is the bag. It's got this handle, and then she lined it with this beautiful fabric. Let me show you the outside. And so this one's flat. It's got a pocket on each side. She also washed the wool first, and look at it, just sits perfectly on you. This is the perfect height. And I have my Carson Throw project in here. And so now the Carson Throw I'm making out of Ecological, Cascade Ecological, and it takes 5 of those skeins or 6 of those skeins. That's a lot of wool, so you know it's going to fill up this bag eventually. And I think that this is the perfect size for it. Now, she said that they're all unique, depending on the coat she finds when she does her little searches in like thrift stores and whatnot. But they were all gorgeous. She had all different types of wool fabric. She washes the wool first, so they're already shrunken down, so you can wash these. And here is, it was $65. Here's the tag. And she said basically how she does it is you can contact her through the website if you're looking for something, and she will make it for you. So I highly recommend. They're put together so nice. It was just really, really nice work. And they just no puckering, nothing. Look at the beautiful seams. I mean, she really did a great job. And it's really great having the pockets outside that were pockets for the coat. You can see they're lined with like satiny material. So this made me super happy. I really love it. And again, that was Rag Hill Farm. Now, right next to them And I'm asking, doing a shout out, if you were there, there was a vendor right next to them that had bats all over the place, all different beautiful colors, and they did all natural dyeing. And I had taken their information, and I can't find it anywhere, so I don't know their name or a website or anything. And I even don't know what kind of wool this is, because she told me, and I wrote it down, and I wrote down the name of their farm, and I don't remember it. The only thing that are on the tags are what she dyed it with and when. So I can't give them credit. It was 2 women, and I'm gonna put a picture of the booth in. So if you recognize it and you know who they were, if you could let me know, that would be great. So that's the bats I got from them. I love them. And now let's get down to the stash from Wes. Alright. So let's start off with, I'm going to go through this a little quick because we're getting way too long. So fiber. I got some fiber there because if you buy a wheel, all the fiber is 20% off for you. So I picked out 2 braids. One is Fragius fiber. I hope I'm saying that right. It's hand-dyed, silky cashmere merino, so it's superfine merino, cashmere, and mulberry silk. Redwood forest is the colorway. It feels lovely. It's very fluffy. Look at all the colors in there. Isn't it just gorgeous? I really love these earthy colors with the jots of the turquoise in it, and I love the browns. Look at the wine there, the wine color. Love it. And then another color with a little bit more brightness to it. You can see the green is a little more brighter, but it also has the browns and the turquoise. I realize now that a lot of the colors are similar, but it's BFL, and it is 100% BFL, and it's Mossy Rock is the colorway, and this is Abstract Fibers. So let me get this here. And like that. So those are the fiber I got. Then these 2 skeins here were from the tent sale area, but I didn't want a whole bag. These are bulky weight, and it is Araucania yarns, and it is the Tolton yarn. And I love the colors in here, and I was thinking these would be great. I joined the Craftsy class, Laura Nelkin's Craftsy class for designing your own cows, and I'm going to use these to design a cow. So now you can hardly read about these yarns under your labels. I don't know what they were thinking, but look, you can't even read it on this side especially. So I had to get the information from Ravelry, but it's just all it says is 100% wool, but it's very soft. So it feels like a good quality wool, and it's very bouncy, but I take it it's not machine superwash. It didn't specify that. I also got, as part of the 40-year anniversary sale, this Rowan Fine Art hand-painted sock yarn. Oops, sorry. Rowan Fine Art. Sorry for the glare there. Is that better? This is the colorway. It has a number, 308. But it's very earthy toned again, more masculine, grays and browns, but really lovely. A little bit of a blue undertone. I have an idea for these as well for a pair of fingerless mitts, possibly, or even maybe a sock weight hat. They do have nylon in it. You could use it for a pair of socks if you wanted to. And who knows, it might end up being socks too, I'm not sure. But this was very good price as well. All right. So then I also got from the bargain boxes these labeled yarns for $2.50 each. They're mohair. They're very, like this one you could tell it's almost kind of felted. It feels like it's one ball. I don't even know if it's going to come apart because it feels like it's one solid piece. This might be a bit of a pain to work with, but I figured for $2.50, let me give it a try. You never know. They might make a nice little shawl. And I did look it up. It is called, where are you? Free, oh, where is it? Giselle. 2 skeins of Giselle, 64% kid mohair, 25% wool, and 1% nylon. Okay. And then, last but not least, from Webb's, I got 2 more skeins of opal sock yarn in their Love Story colorways. This one is called Romantic. See it right there? It's purples and orange. And this one is called, I'm not sure what it means. It looks like Wolke 7. It's beautiful pinks, and I'll be knitting this around next year, around February when we start Valentine's Day stuff. This will be what I'll be pulling at. So my friend Sandy got 2 and I got 2, so we were able to get the 25% discount on these, which is great. And that, my friends, is all she wrote. I don't have time to talk with you much about the car ride with Sandy, but we had so much fun, and I know I'm going to keep telling her to come back and do another show with me. But until then, thanks for watching. I will see you in a couple of weeks, and ciao ciao for now.